Bam! What's up, guys? Here today to bring you one of my runs from a couple days ago, which I have to apologize for. I've only just now been able to get around to voicing over it. Uh, so I am going to be a little foggy on my exact thought process while I was doing this run. Uh, and secondly, it is about twice the length of what my runs would normally be because I got super sweaty on the run and yeah, I'm just going to hit play and we'll get started because it's already about 20 minutes long and I will do my best. You can see here I'm using attack food. This was actually a test run, one of my test runs to see if crit damage food or attack food was working better for Jericho when using Alionia versus Death Pierce. And I just happened to get super sweaty with the run because it seemed to be going pretty well. I get really undecisive on a few turns and unfortunately it just dragged the length of the run out. Usually I'd be done in about 10 to 12 minutes for a run. This one goes to about 20 minutes and then I go through like the gear at the end of the video. I have also been testing out various other comps for free to play. Uh, Unfortunately, it's really difficult for free to play to cop a high score on this unless they have, say, an ADSR Aaron. I'll get back to that soon. Just want to explain what I've done here. I've risked just tossing the Jericho cards away. I want to get a Jericho ult for on the second turn so that I can use it on the third turn after Meli puts down his stance. Because when Meliodas puts his stance down, he takes 50% increased damage. Also, right at the start of the video here, I want to explain that you might have noticed on the stat screen before I press play, Gartha's HP is higher than Merlin's. This will help with Elizabeth when she gets her attacks. She will attack the unit with the lowest HP. However, this still includes elemental disadvantage. So because they're blue units, they're going to attack the Merlin. So technically, I'm pretty sure my Jericho has the least amount of HP. So you see here, turn 2, I've got my ult. I'm not going to freeze for the kill because he is taking 50% more damage. Yeah, so Merlin's got the least amount of HP. I think she's on an attack set. We do get to the gear later, like at the end of the video. Gath is actually wearing Merlin's gear, which is like UR'd for it's like the bracer and ring, as well as the belt and the little orb, the rune. So you can see there, not a huge hit, but enough to kill the melee, and it gets the 300k points. And then the rest of these turns are going to be trying to decide which skills to keep while we build up the Gatha passive. Okay, so my Jerry is 6-6, my Merlin is 1-6, and my Gatha is 2-6. So I'm completely relying on Jericho here. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm whittling down Merlin, and I want to try and keep her controlled. Okay. She is going to heal here. I was deciding whether to freeze her or not to get rid of that heal, but I decided to let her heal once and then start whittling her down again. That way I have more opportunity to take a second buff away to get the extra buff points. Anyways, back to what I was saying while we wait for our turns to take place. In terms of free-to-play comp, if you guys have seen Spam and Rice's team, if you guys play this game and you check out YouTube, you probably know him. He uses SR Aaron, right? Because he doesn't have a 6-6 Jerry and he doesn't have a what was the other one? A 6-6 Derry, right? Because he's also free to play. And I believe that the new SSR Arthur coming out on this rollover is actually going to be a great unit for this final boss. Unfortunately, we get like one multi per day. We're only going to get like a 1-6 Aaron, and that'll be like pretty much after the final boss is gone. Okay, so unless you go in on trying to get that new SSR Blue Aaron that's coming out on this next update, on rollover today actually, Unfortunately, he's not going to be much use to you because he's only going to be like, even if you summon in on the banner with some gems, like you're probably not going to have a 6/6 unless you've got a lot of gems, right? So alternatively, the choices would be SR Aaron, make sure you 80 him because we got him free 6/6, or Vivian, right? Another SR unit. I tested Vivian, and based on my test with Vivian on stream versus what I've seen Spam do, because I only have like a level 60 Aaron, right? I haven't 80'd him yet. I didn't have enough pendants for that yet. Um, I believe the Aaron is definitely a much better choice because he hits harder, right? If you get like his gold card buff, SR Aaron's going to hit a lot harder. You can see here I'm being really indecisive about if I want to use one of these freezes to stop her ult and her heal because I'm unsure about trying to kill her. And because I've got this rank up card, right? And these two freezes plus the Jericho hit, I've got to build up my ult for Jericho, and I've got to try and prevent her from healing to max, right? I think I reset here. So I have to apologize. I do reset quite a bit for this one to retake my turn. Okay, apparently not. I just stopped her. Luckily, I get another freeze. That's right. Like that's the hard decision, right? I was trying to figure out, see how it's like he's got a 4 stack. This is the turn that I would generally want to kill the Liz. But I want Jericho ult, and I want to because on the after Liz dies on this turn, Gatha will be 5 stack. So it's the ideal time to move into the next phase. Problem is, I'm 3 orbs away from a Jericho ult, so I've got to rank up. I've got to freeze. I do not have the second buff theft yet, so I haven't frozen for the second buff yet. So I believe I'm trying to figure out what to do here. So I think I'm thinking I'll rank up the Gatha buff, and then I'll get my gold freeze as I like finish off Liz to go into the next turn. But I've still got to build that Jericho ult, and I cannot let her heal again because it'll take too many turns to whittle her back down unless I kill her with, say, Merlin's ult, which I'm thinking I want to use for the second phase, right? Which we'll get to. We'll get to that when we move into the next phase. I'll explain that. But yeah, anyways, as far as free to play team goes, I believe SR Aaron is definitely the best pick. Okay, compared to Vivian. You have to bring Red Merlin. If you're not bringing Red Merlin, you're not going to be competitive with points. You can bring Gustav just for the freeze if you want to clear it and get just to get clear or like to clear out the shop, right? Just to clear it and grab the little shop tokens and stuff to buy at the shop. But if you want to compete for points as a free to play, try and get in like top 5%. I believe SR Aaron definitely your best bet because we all got him for free as long as you're on the ball with your Titan events. You need to bring that Red Merlin. 1/6 is kind of okay. It should be fine. And what I've noticed, Spam's been using Gatha to increase that Aaron attack. I'm kind of undecided. I think, as far as free to play goes, Gatha is okay. But I think that it might be worth. I haven't tested this, but it very well might be worth sacrificing the SSR Gatha to, using that Gatha passive to actually try Red Dreyfus. You can see like how long this took me to decide, right, guys? Like this particular, I'm like, no, let's try that again. Like I was like so undecisive on this particular turn. We've been sitting here for like a minute and a bit. But yeah. Anyways, I tried SSR Slater. You have to ult like 3 times to get the infect bonus points, and it's just like I'd rather kill the unit. Like it takes too long to get 3 ults to infect them and also kill them. But if you use Red Dreyfus, I'm kind of like you're still going to hit pretty hard with the SR Aaron ult. It is going to be a bit weaker. However, you're not going to need you don't need the Gatha buff because as long as you get the gold card for Aaron, he's going to increase his stats by 50%. Gatha's buff is not going to affect Aaron. Gatha's passive will, but I'm kind of not sure if the extra 50% attack for Aaron's ult is worth losing the 230 points for the infect. As far as this free-to-play team goes, I was initially wanting to try it with Vivian, but Vivian just does not hit hard enough compared to Aaron, even with Gather. Um, I think you need much better RNG because while she does increase her attack with her passive, you need the Gather buff, but that buff is like nowhere near as good as Aaron's buff, right? I mean, it probably comes out to be pretty even if you get Gather's buff with Vivian's passive, but like as long as you get it's just much easier to get that gold Aaron buff as far as clearing goes. Um, but yeah, so like the reason I'm kind of like the hardest hit that I've seen Spam do is like 900k something. I'm like from what I've watched, I don't know if he's hit harder yet. However, like you're not going to be breaking like you're not going to be getting like 1.5, 1.7, 2 million crits, right? Well maybe crits like if you're really lucky. But like most of your Aaron runs aren't going to be like around the 2 mil range, and you're pretty likely not going to crit and do absolutely massive damage. So those particular points aren't going to affect you as much for your runs. So it's maybe very viable for you to actually try dropping Gather, trying to run that Dreyfus, because he's got a single target ult. He will help you clear to the next phase. He will help you clear at the end of the run. Just holding into that single target hit. It is similar to Jericho's, but he's not guaranteed the crit like Jericho is, right? You can see here I'm really indecisive about how to move into the next phase. I've got these extra freezers. I want 2 gold freezers, and it is not like if that Gather card at the end there had been a second rank up and I had a silver rank up, it'd be pretty perfect because I could silver rank up, gold freeze, like as soon as I enter the next phase, ult with Jericho, and just gold freeze again on the Liz. But unfortunately, RNG is not on my side. So you see here, I didn't clear into the next phase. I was just short of it. So I believe I retry this turn and do it again. I think. Yeah. Because this is the turn I have to clear to the next phase. I've got my setup. There's not much more I can do. Once again, this was a test run. Okay. And unfortunately, I actually hit harder with crit damage food. So there is a lot more room for improvement for my score. Well, maybe not like a lot more, but I believe I crit about 1.5 mil with attack food with Jericho, and I crit about 1.7 mil with her when I use crit damage food. And I can also still clear the run about, I think like 1 or 2 turns earlier as well, as long as RNG is on my side. So I think there's room to actually get about maybe a 3.3 score. Unfortunately, I only get about a 3k score with this run. And RNG has not been on my side. Okay, RNG just has not loved me very much for this particular final boss. Even though it is one of the smoother final bosses for trying our runs, RNG has not loved me much. But yeah, anyways, as far as the free-to-play team goes, I believe there is a toss-up between Gatha and SR Dreyfus and trying to get those infect points using him. However, that also involves SR pendants. My Dreyfus and my Aaron are both level 60. I will maybe be trying to get some more SR pendants and bring them up to 80 so I can run some, do some runs myself with both units and just to test if it's viable. But it's just going to depend. I do not have huge amounts of SR pendants left over just at this moment. I will have to calculate probably after I record this video. I might check it out and see how many I've got, but they're both level 60, so like that's quite a few pendants, and it takes 10 pendants per like 5 levels, So what's that? About 40 pendants to get them both to 80. If I wanted to try out this comp for you guys, which I don't think I have, unfortunately. And I don't really have gold coins to be using on it either. But yeah, anyways, I'll I'll leave that as it is. Try your Gather. If you have Red Dreyfus, he very well might be worth leveling up to get those, try those infect points, an extra 230 infect points. I kind of feel like maybe it would be worth it versus um, the Gather passive stacking for the SR Aaron team. Unfortunately, I really can't test it because I have no pendants. Like, I don't have enough pendants. Sorry. It was the team I was going to try and run because I felt like maybe it would be more RNG reliable rather than trying to build Gather stack, get the freeze with Jericho. Because those extra points just for putting infect on, like maybe you can go an extra turn or two and it won't affect your score as much, is what I was thinking. Because like even if you finish on like turn 11, maybe you get 2600 points, right? Just by doing like a normal run. But you get those extra like 230 points by putting that infect on the enemy, and then boom, you've gone from 2600 points to like closer to 2850 maybe. Like, maybe you get a couple extra points here and there, but yeah, it'd just bring you up into that top 5%, or at least like very close to being dropped out of it. Okay, so you can see here, I did sacrifice. I was thinking about holding on to that Jericho silver so that I could use it just in case. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out. I had to sacrifice it, but I believe I get another one. So as we move into the second phase, what's going to happen here is I am going to freeze melee, alt melee, right? And I'm like umming and ahhing. I'm like, damn, I didn't get a rank up. I have to kill melee right now. But I really wanted that gold freeze for Merlin. I mean, for Elizabeth, sorry. I wanted that gold freeze for Merlin so I could use it on Elizabeth. I wanted to freeze, crit, freeze. Unfortunately, my Merlin is 1-6. If you have a 6-6 Merlin, there's a really good chance that you can just one-shot Liz after you kill the melee with it. So I am automatically forced to take an extra turn here because I only have a 1-6 Merlin. Now I decide to freeze Liz anyway because I don't want her like cancelling out my debuffs. You see I only hit like a 1.5 mil. So my score suffered a little bit there because this was a attack food test run. Now I got kind of lucky here with the silver combine. I'm thinking, shit, okay, how do I kill Liz without the silver freeze, right? And I just decide, you know what, whatever, this is a test run, I'm just going to go for it. And I'm thinking, do I rank up Jericho? Do I go for the gold freeze? I decide to ult with Merlin. She's got 247k. I'm thinking I'm not going to kill. And I'm thinking, do I use both bronze cards? It's like I'm not Gather buffed, and I'm just like, this is it. What do I do, right? And I just decide I'm just gonna go for the Gather AOE attack block. Ult with Merlin, and then silver card with Jericho. I completely luck sack here with 107k crit. Managed to finish her on the turn. And I think it was like a turn 9 finish. I wasn't looking when I brought up how many turns it was. But yeah, the point saved on the how many turns we did was pretty good. You see here, I've only got plus 784 points. So let me just pause that for a second. Plus 784 points for the the points proportional to great damage dealt against enemy. So like maybe you lose like when you're only using like SI Aaron and you get like say 700 900k hit, right? I would hope it's like, I think Melee's got like 800k HP in the second phase, so you'd want to be hitting over 800k. Um, you're still gonna get like pretty good points there, but you're not gonna be hitting like you're not gonna get as many as these Jericho crits, right? Or the Derriere crits. Um, so it's like, what do you do there to make up for the lost points? That's why I'm thinking maybe the infect is better, just to get those infect points. Like it should come pretty close, but be easier to get those extra points than hoping for big crit or something like that, right? As far as ease of use goes, is what I'm trying to say here. But like either team, I think they're going to be really close as far as a free to play team goes. And yeah, you can see here, managed to get all the check marks required. Only 3045. This boss, again, RNG does not love me too much with this boss. I've rambled on for quite a long time. And yeah, you see top 2.52%. I hope just at least seeing the run, and I know I didn't go too much over my thought process during the run, but most of it was just me being indecisive about which cards to use. Here's the gear, by the way. I did ultra rare the crit damage piece just for a little bit of oomph for Jericho. Honestly, it didn't change too much. It really didn't change too much. Out of the runs I did before I ultra rared it and the runs I did with it, it didn't help all that much. She's actually Merlin's using my Hauser gear. Gath is using my Merlin's gear. My green Merlin's gear, I think. I don't really run red Merlin because again she's 1/6. And yeah, here we go. You can see it's just the Merlin gear. And yeah, there's the Alioni. He's just running my Lilia's set. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to upload a second video that's more free to play friendly. Unfortunately, it just kind of depends on how many SR pendants I get. Like we've only got like another week left of the final boss. Um, but yeah, hopefully the video kind of helps you guys. Again, most of this run was just me being pretty indecisive, and that's why it took so long. Because a big issue when you're like running these cards, so like when you're doing this, is like, okay, do I sacrifice a freeze or do I sacrifice a rank up? Is what a lot of these runs come down to. Because if I get another silver rank up, I can rank up everything anyway. If I sacrifice a freeze now, am I going to get another freeze to get rid of another buff? Because a lot of this final boss is whether you're going to get another freeze or buff strip to like remove these buffs and get the extra bonus points, right? And once you use that freeze, you're not really going to be getting that rank up. Like you're not going to have a freeze around to rank it up. So this is a new HP set I'm working on here, by the way. So don't mind it too much. Anyways, that's all the gear. My the attack set on Julia there is one of my main attack sets. I was trying to boost up the damage for Jericho, and I think the gear on Slater there was Gather's defense gear that I use for Guild Boss and stuff. Anyways, I hope this video has been kind of maybe helpful for you guys. Once again, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make a more free-to-play friendly team that doesn't use as many SSRs, simply because I don't have the SR pendants. But even then, you guys probably don't have the SR pendants either, and it's probably not really worth the investment to like be building a team like that anyway. Um, like Jericho and Derriere are the key units for this particular boss, unfortunately. The new Blue Arthur, again, I think is going to be a really great unit for it, but you're probably not going to have him 6/6. So once again, it's just like your team's going to suffer. Your team's going to suffer a lot if you don't run Red Merlin and Jericho or Derriere. And if your Red Merlin's not 6/6 or at least, I don't know, 4/6, however many alt levels it takes to one-shot Elizabeth after you nuke melee, then your team's just going to suffer as far as points are concerned. However, if you can manage to struggle yourself up to at least 3k points, I feel like you are going to be pretty safe as far as scores concerned. Anyways, again, the video has run pretty long, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope it's helped, and peace.